Arrow of God by Chinua Achebe. Chapter 5. Edogo, the first son of Ezelu, was a mask carver. He had a holy shrine where the masks would be carved from holy Iroko wood. While carving the masks, Edogo believed that he had a connection with each and every mask that came through his hand. He could hear voices. The masks were speaking to him. And this was a holy profession. He heard about the killing of the python by his brother Oduche, and he could not believe it. As a mask carver, all the deities were holy for him. So his brother killing a python was simply unthinkable. On the other hand, at Government Hill, Winterbottom is very angry because his junior has been promoted over him. And on the other hand, he was sent a note to conduct an indirect rule over the natives. An indirect rule, as he believed, was not possible. The natives had many rituals and festivals, and simply converting to westernization was an impossible task. A road was being constructed, uniting the 6 villages of Nigeria. Native chiefs who were in charge of the construction were given money to pay the laborers. But these chiefs had taken all the money from the white man for themselves, and they never paid anything to the poor workers. This is where Chinua Achebe believes that corruption originates in the heart of the natives and not in the white man. Many Africans took money from Winterbottom to pay their laborers but kept it for themselves. Now, according to the note, Winterbottom was ordered to find a suitable chief, a paramount chief, who would be loyal to both his people and the white man. And Winterbottom had none other than Ezelu in his mind. Chapter 6. Igbo tradition goes like this. If a man killed a royal python, a funeral had to be arranged for it. The funeral had to be one that was suitable for a king. Ezelu did not do that. If you recall, his son Oduche had killed a royal python, and a messenger from Edemili demanded that Ezelu perform a royal funeral. But Ezelu replied that Ulu was the native god of Umuachala, not Edemili, and they did not have any obligation to Edemili. Akuke's in-law comes from another village and speaks to Ezelu. Who is Akuke? She is the first daughter of Ezelu. And if you recall, she has been living in her father's house for a long time because her husband had beaten her. And Obika had beaten him in revenge and put him under the Ukwa tree. Now Okuke's people come to Ezelu and demand to send his daughter back. They eat the kola nuts offered by Ezelu and paint their toes with white clay. But Obika is full of anger because no promise has been made for Akuke's safety. There was no guarantee that Ibe would not beat her again. Obika wants a promise. On the other hand, Ezelu demands that Ibe had not paid a single penny all the while Akuke stayed with her father. And according to African culture, once a girl was married off, her husband had to pay for her food, clothes and essentials even if she lived with her father. And Akuke did not receive any money from her husband. Ezelu calls Matefi to cook for Akuke's people, but as usual, the jealous wife says that there is no cassava, yam or palm oil. On the other hand, Ugoye does the cooking. Ezelu says that Akuke will return 3 months on the Oye festival after the next. Thank you for watching chapters 5 and 6. The next video will be in detail on the Pumpkin Leaf Festival, the most important part of the book.